Raider Nation, it's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. And coming up on today's show, my instant reaction to the Raiders' 22-19 loss to the San Francisco 49ers. Now, today's show presented by Panda Sups. Use code Raiders. You're going to be able to save 20% off at pandasups.com. If you spend over $99 and you live in the U.S., we're going to give you free shipping. If you spend over $125, I'm going to give you free creatine and free shipping. If you're wondering what workout supplements I use Panda Sups. And that link's going to be available to y'all down in the comments, down in the description of today's show. So you're going to look at the score and you're going to go, man, Mitch is probably really pissed off that the Raiders lost 22-19 to the 49ers. I'm not going to lie to you. I am mad that we lost to the 49ers because I can't stand the San Francisco 49ers. But I'll tell you this right now. I like what I saw from the starters today on the offensive side of the football. Our defense is going to be a problem, and I think all of us know that. But Ashton Jeanty was able to find Pater. Geno Smith today I thought looked good. Brock Bowers down the field, was really impressed by him. Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker. I liked what I saw from our starters. And, yes, the Raiders lost. And, you know, there was a weird thing going on in our watch party, just battling between if we wanted to tie or not, because only that guy over there would have been happy that the Raiders were 0-2. But I'll be very transparent. I am happier today after this game because of the way our starters played compared to the way I was against that Seahawks game. I'm going to come away from this game being a lot more confident in the Pete Carroll, John Spytek Raiders regime that we have right now. Even though we lost, I feel better about this preseason game because what our starters did. If there's one thing that I'm concerned about with this team, well, how about this? I'm going to ask you all this question. Are you concerned about this team? And some of you might say yes, some of you say no. I am concerned about the defense because to me, the defense is a major, major issue. So please, y'all are about to get into the YouTube ad break. Scroll on down and tell me what you're concerned about with this Raiders team. Let's first start on defense because that's the biggest issue here. I will stand 10 toes and say this is going to be a top 10 offense. And I think you saw glimpses of it a little bit. Jeanty's able to run the football. We're able to tack down the field. The offense just works with Chip Kelly and Geno Smith, and it's going to click. Our secondary is a problem. Our secondary is a major cause for concern. You know, early on, Ricky Purcell's making plays way too easy. There was a play right in the very first drive. It was 3rd down and 18. Raiders do a great job getting pressure. And, you know, huge shout-out to this defensive line. I thought Thomas Booker, Tyree Wilson, Maxx Crosby, those are our 3 best defensive linemen right now, and I don't give a shit what anybody says. Those are our 3 best defensive linemen right now based on what I've seen over the course of the first 2 preseason games, the mock game, and the joint practices, the notes I've been getting. But, like, we actually did a good job getting after the quarterback. Early on, this defense was flying around, but the secondary is a problem. Our safeties, our cornerbacks are a problem. I know that Pete Carroll wants to sit up there and predicate himself on his ability to be able to get the most out of the secondary, but there has to be a point where you look yourself in the mirror, you look at this team, and you can't tell me that this is a Raiders football team that's good enough to win in the AFC West, that's good enough to win in the AFC, that's good enough to be a potential 10-win team like Pete thinks. We need more help in the secondary, and it's clear as day to me. Now, the Raiders' offense, total offense, again, you can look at the numbers here. What I really want to concentrate on is more or less what our starters did. Geno Smith, 6 of 8. 55 yards. First play of the game was Brock Bowers' 28-yard pickup up the right side of the field. Just went up, and when you throw a 50-50 ball to number 89, it turns into an 89-11 ball, and he was able to come down with it. Somebody who else I thought looked good today. Michael Mayer had an early flash, and Jeanty was able to get it going. Dante Thornton Jr. was targeted twice, unable to get any catches, but you could tell that they were at least trying to really stretch the field. Trey Tucker, he had a catch for 6 yards, but it was a big catch and a chain mover. It ended up being a first down. Jacoby Myers, you know, he was somebody that had only a catch for 4 yards today. But the play that they did, I like the setup because it was a run play with Jeanty. And then they tried to do a fake to Jeanty to the left. They brought Jacoby across the middle of the field. And again, only able to pick up 4 yards. But you can clearly see that this offense has talent. And you can clearly see that Geno Smith and this Chip Kelly Raiders offense is going to be a good offense. Where I have my concerns on offense is the offensive line. But I liked what I saw from their O-line today. JPJ, Jordan Meredith did a great job. I thought right tackle, DJ Glaze did a good job. You know, Dylan Parham, Colt Miller. The Raiders starting offensive line is good. Where I have concerns are the depth of this team. And the Raiders lack serious depth on offense, and they lack serious depth on defense, where it's a long season. And I want to trust the process, and I want to trust what this team did. But if you're a guy that knows ball, and I mean this most respectfully possible, you can't tell me that this is a deep roster. And I hate saying it because I thought it was a lot deeper. It's not a deep roster. If you're looking for Raiders videos every single day, whether it's news, whether it's rumors, breaking news, make sure you subscribe. This show is 100% free, and it's going to be 100% free for the next 365 days. If you were part of the over 100,000 people that pulled up tonight for our Raiders Report watch party, shout out to you. If you missed it, hey, tune in, subscribe. We're going to be live next week when Raiders play the Cardinals. So hopefully we can get a dub that time. Let's go to John Doe. I want to see 3 signings by Monday at the latest. Dalton Risner, Justin Simmons, and possibly Jadeveon Clowney. I would sign off on all 3 of these signings. Last week I said Jadeveon would have been the biggest need because I said defensive tackle was our biggest need. Based on what I saw today, I love what I saw from the defensive line. Secondary is our biggest need, and it's Justin Simmons. Quite frankly, I think Rasul Douglas would be worth giving a call because Kai Blue Kelly was playing over Darian Porter today. They played Darian Porter pretty late. Another player that was playing late in that game was Darnay Holmes, and I said it earlier in the week because, again, I don't like to rip on other people. I know how difficult this job is, but the reason why you subscribe to the Raiders Report is because there's not a person on this planet that talks about the Raiders that's more informed, I personally believe, than what we do here. Vincent Bonsignore the other day said Darnay Holmes is a lock to be a starter. Darnay Holmes playing in the 4th quarter of that preseason game. Let's go to Nico Laz. Chad, I fixed the problem. Just went on Madden and traded for Stingley and... Oh, he's talking about you. I mean, I wish we could go out and get Derek Stingley and Kamari Lassiter. We'd be a lot better. I know that. Seth Milbourne, secondary is a nightmare. My question to you is this. What's your confidence level in this Raiders secondary? Be honest with me. Confidence level. 1, you're not confident at all. 10, it's the best secondary in the National Football League. And I am a believer where I've done this show long enough. If you were to ask 100 Raiders fans this question, there is not, we're going to go 1 to 100. All right. 100 best in the league. 1, the worst in the league. I'm going to look at this as I would a test paper, right? And I'm going to give this Raiders secondary a 61 grade, where they are right on the fringe of passing, and when I say passing with a D, D minus, or getting an F. And I like Jeremy Chin. He had a nice interception today. Was able to jump that route. But again, that's up against the backup. When it was Brock Purdy out there, they were giving up long chunk plays left and right. They were giving up long chunk plays during the joint practice. I am somebody that believes if you ask 100 Raiders fans, are they confident in the Raiders secondary? I think all 100 Raider fans say no. And when that is the case, that usually means that there's a reason behind it. And if you're Pete Carroll, if you're John Spytek, you gotta figure out something with this secondary. Because I'm looking at the live chat right now. Mark, I heard that you ended up watching our watch party tonight. Shout out to Mark Davis. Look at the chat right now. Nobody believes in the secondary. Let's make an adjustment. Let's go to King Shav. You're next up here. I blame this loss to Aidan O'Connell. I don't think that that's a fair statement to make. And quite frankly, if you're going to blame any quarterback for this loss today, you blame Cam Miller. Because Cam Miller threw a horrific interception late in that game. And I mean, it was really, really bad. Those are last week's stats, by the way. Aidan wasn't great today and I understand that. Like, Aidan O'Connell, those aren't the right stats, just so y'all know. Aidan O'Connell, these are the right ones. 15 to 23, 138 yards, no touchdowns, an interception. He threw a really bad pick. He was looking for Alex Bachman. It was 3rd down. Now, I will admit, you go back and you watch that play, Bachman didn't run a good route. Bachman's supposed to get to the 1st down marker. He ran about 2 yards past that 1st down marker, and Aidan threw it right to the sticks. The guy jumped the route. The bigger problem that I have is Aidan showed his hand the entire time. Go back and watch my live game play-by-play. I go, Aidan O'Connell's going to force the ball here to Alex Bachman because that's what AOC does. He's predictable. We watch a lot of tape here. I watch Aidan O'Connell all the flipping time. Aidan was bad. He was. And I don't think anybody's going to defend Aidan O'Connell. But Cam Miller also, that last interception, it was a rookie mistake. And there were times where Miller flashed. Our 49ers guy, he texted me, he goes, Cam Miller's so much better than Aidan O'Connell. And you can definitely see the upside. But AOC has regressed. And I don't think many people would disagree with that statement because when I've seen Aidan O'Connell play, He's got 3 bad interceptions. Yes, he does have a touchdown this preseason. It was also in the third quarter against basically third-string backups, and it was a little bit of a cupcake defense, if I'm being honest. We are still doing an instant reaction here on the Raiders Report, and the instant reaction is me giving you my 2 cents to the game. It's also being able to see what Raider Nation has to say after a win, after a loss, or almost another flippin' tie. Today's show, though, is sponsored by Panda Sups, and if you use code Raiders, you're going to be able to save 20% off at pandasups.com. Some of my favorite products out there, I'll always say give a shout out to the premium protein. I love their protein. It's the best tasting protein on the market. I will say that to a 49ers fan. I would say that to a Chiefs fan. I'm not kidding when I say this. It is my favorite protein. If you need something that helps you sleep, they have this sleep aid, and it really knocks me the F out, which I say that because there's sometimes when I get done doing a show, it's really hard for me to come down from this, like, energy rush that I'm on. You take a scoop of that, and it'll help you go to sleep, and you'll sleep like a baby. The Nootropic, the superfood, if you need some greens, their superfoods are solid. My wife loves their fat burner. Their thermogenic. It's going to melt it off you. Pre-workout if you need help getting just motivated in the morning. And then recovery BCAAs. If you're going to the gym and you're putting in your time and the effort to get that workout in, you might as well also try to take care of your body to the best possible way. Now, they do have a brand new premium whey protein isolate, which is basically it's like 110 to 120 calories per scoop, 25 grams of protein, 0 grams of added sugar, and they're unbelievable. They have toasted honey graham, they have brownie, they have peanut butter cookie. I love all the protein here from Panda, and I'm telling you, pandasups.com. This link's down in the comments. It's in the description of today's show. He's shout out to Merbod. He owns Panda Sups. He's a diehard Raiders fan. Let's go to Rebel, Montana. Cam Miller was in the same situation AOC did a few seasons ago. They did better indoors than out. The second defense, big issue, as I saw in the practice. Yeah, I mean, the depth is not there. And that's where you're a little bit concerned because I was hoping that this team would be better off with the depth, and we just lack depth. And our secondary is a nightmare. I think our secondary looks like a team that everyone's going, oh, trust Pete, trust Pete, trust Pete. And I'm trying to trust Pete. But also, from a talent standpoint, I think the Raiders have a bottom 3 secondary. And I don't think that that's a crazy statement to make. Let's go to Mega Cooler. The secondary has always been an issue for years, and today is another prime example. They got to address the secondary ASAP. And it's going to be an issue all season long. We got a bunch of guys that can play, I think, underneath routes. But if you don't have anybody that can truly drop back into pass coverage, teams are going to be able to pick you apart unless you're able to get pressure every single time quickly. Today, the Raiders were able to get pressure, and I thought the defensive line looked really good today. I was impressed. And I know that we're going to bring some pressure, we're going to blitz, but you still need guys that you can rely on to win 1v1s. And 1v1 right now, I don't trust anybody in that secondary. Suave, what up, Suave? What is your level of confidence, 1 to 10, in our secondary considering Pete? And what would be your confidence without them, say, if we had AP? I mean, if we had AP, this would be the worst defense in the National Football League. And I'm not kidding when I say that. It's the defense that was like the old Raiders defense is giving up 30 points a game. With Pete right now, 1 to 10, I'm going to go with a 4. And it's literally a 4 because I trust Pete Carroll. If it was with AP, it might be a 2. Edie, amazing. The off is top 25, the defense bottom. All right, so the offense top 25. I think the offense is a top 10 offense. I do. I think we are going to be a team that scores 20, 25, 26, 27 points a game. The problem is I'm worried we're going to be a defense that gives up 26, 27, 28. What up, YD? Should have got Shador. I think that's a dumb statement to make, quite frankly, and I expect that. Somebody who watches the show, and I know you do watch the show, but quite frankly, I don't know how you could watch this preseason game today and see how well Geno has looked this preseason and say, should have got Shador. I'd say you should have got a better take because that's a bad one. What up, Team Thompson? Geno is the best quarterback since Gannon. I don't think that that's actually a fair statement of Derek Carr. I mean, if Derek doesn't get injured, he's the best quarterback. And Derek Carr in 2015, 2016 is better than what Geno Smith is. The problem is Derek just totally changed after the injury, and we all know that. And that's probably the most frustrating part about Derek Carr. It was we had something, and then an injury, a freak injury, and it totally changed DC. But Geno is a real one. I'm excited to see what Geno's going to be able to do this season, and I think he's going to shock a lot of people because you can see the glimpses of this offense. It really just comes down to the offensive line. And because it comes down to the offensive line, if the offensive line plays the way that we did today, we're going to be a top 10 offense. If the offensive line looks the way that it did against Seattle, we're not going to be a top 10 offense. Reminder, if anybody ever wants to give me a follow on Instagram or on Twitter, I am at Mitchell Renz 365. I also want to say this. Tomorrow, you guys are going to get another video, and it's going to be much more in-depth. It's going to be my winners and losers, and I know that this is a very popular video that a lot of Raiders fans always seem to look for from me. So early tomorrow morning, the video you're going to get, Raiders winners and losers from this game. I'm going to watch the tape. I'm going to dissect it a little bit more in depth. If you are not watching this live, then pull up here over live. We're about to give away over $1,000, and we're about to give away a Raiders Chargers Monday Night Football ticket to the home opener.